You're at a crowded gathering. Across the room, there's a guy. He's not necessarily the loudest person there. He's not wearing a flashy designer suit. And he certainly isn't performing for a crowd like a dancing monkey. In fact, he's barely doing anything at all. But every time someone walks past him, they subtly adjust their posture. When he speaks, the group leans in. People seem to casually position themselves to be closer to his orbit. Meanwhile, on the other side of the room, there's another guy. Maybe he makes 6 figures, hits the gym 5 days a week, and has memorized every charismatic conversation starter on the internet. Yet, he is practically vibrating with nervous energy, desperately trying to hold on to a single conversation, laughing a little too hard at everyone's jokes. What is the invisible difference between these two men? It's not genetics. It's not a secret bank account. It's a biological signal, a frequency. And most of us are completely unaware of the signal we are broadcasting every single second of the day. Look at how most people exist in public right now. They fold their arms. They hunch over their phones. They keep their elbows tucked in, crossing their legs tightly. They take quick, choppy steps when they walk. Without realizing it, they are physically apologizing for taking up space. This shrinking isn't just a physical habit. It's a psychological prison. When you shrink your body, your brain receives a chemical message. Researchers at Harvard and Columbia uncovered exactly what happens in these moments. When you adopt these small, closed-off postures, your cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes. Simultaneously, your testosterone, the hormone responsible for confidence, risk tolerance, and assertiveness, plummets. You actually become weaker, more anxious, and more invisible, simply because of how you are holding your own skeleton. But what happens if you reverse engineer it? Think about a lion on the savannah. Does a lion dart its eyes around anxiously? Does it scurry from place to place? No, it lounges. It spreads out. When it walks, the movements are slow, heavy, and deliberate. It moves like something that knows it has absolutely nothing to fear. It doesn't waste energy. If you want to change how the world reacts to you, you don't need a new personality. You just need to stop rushing. When you walk into a room, don't scurry. Saunter. Stroll in with deliberate purpose. When you sit down, put your arm over the back of the empty chair next to you. Stretch your legs out. Claim your physical territory. Don't dart your eyes away when someone looks at you. Hold their gaze comfortably. Act as if you completely belong exactly where you are. Within minutes of doing this, your neurochemistry actually shifts to match your posture. Your stress melts away, your confidence hormones flood your system, and you stop pretending to be powerful. You actually become it. But taking up space physically is only half the equation. The moment you open your mouth, you can destroy that entire illusion in a single second. Think about the guy at the office who speaks lightning fast. His pitch constantly rises at the end of every sentence, like he's unconsciously asking for permission. He breathes shallowly from his chest, terrified that if he pauses for even a fraction of a second, someone will interrupt him and steal the spotlight. He values his own words so little that he tries to get them out of the way as quickly as possible. Now think about the guy in charge. He leans back, he breathes deep into his stomach, and when he speaks, the sound vibrates. He doesn't rush. He lets silence hang in the air. He utilizes the pregnant pause. Why? Because he knows nobody is going to interrupt him. He is entirely at ease, and that physical ease translates into a deep, rich, resonant voice. There was a fascinating experiment done in a busy train station. Researchers taped a square on the floor, and a man stood near it, telling rushing commuters to walk around the box. When he used a higher-pitched, hurried, nervous voice, people completely ignored him. They trampled right through the tape. He didn't exist to them. But later, that exact same man lowered his pitch, slowed his cadence, and spoke from his gut. He didn't change his words, just his delivery. People literally jumped out of the way. They respected the voice and obeyed the command before their conscious minds even processed what was happening. This isn't a parlor trick. Studies of corporate executives and politicians show the exact same thing. The ones with slower, deeper, more controlled speaking voices manage larger companies, make significantly more money, and win more elections. If you want people to respect you, stop rushing your words. Speak fewer of them. Robert Greene famously wrote that powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more common you appear. Make every single syllable pack a punch. But here is where the trap snaps shut for most men. They hear "take up space" and speak slowly, and they turn it into a theatrical performance. They try to play the part of the dominant guy, and the facade crumbles the very second they feel the need to talk about themselves. Have you ever been trapped in a conversation with someone who won't stop listing their achievements? They tell you about their promotion, the expensive watch they just bought, the exotic vacation they just took. They think they are blowing your mind, but what is the hidden message they are actually screaming at you? Please validate me. Please think I'm good enough. I am terrified you won't respect me unless I show you my resume. It is the ultimate sign of weakness. It is a desperate plea for external approval. The defining trait of a truly powerful presence, the core of the alpha mindset, is the absolute, unshakable absence of the need to prove yourself to anyone. Imagine you meet someone at a party. You make small talk. You ask them if they've done anything interesting lately. They shrug, take a sip of their drink, and casually mention that, actually, they climbed Mount Everest a few months ago. Wait, what? You lean in, shocked. They didn't lead with it. They didn't steer the conversation toward it. You then ask what they do for a living, and they casually drop that they're starting their own modeling agency. Your mind is spinning. Why is this person so much more magnetic than the guy bragging about his new BMW? Because this person didn't care if you knew. They didn't need your applause to feel complete. And that leaves you wondering, if they just casually dropped Mount Everest, what else have they done that they aren't even bothering to tell me? By holding back, they become a mystery. By not seeking your approval, they instantly command your respect. This internal shift changes every single dynamic in your life, especially when it comes to dating and attraction. Most men operate from a massive deficit. When they see someone beautiful, their internal monologue immediately becomes, how do I impress her? How do I get her to choose me? They eagerly chase. They agree with everything she says. They laugh too hard at her unfunny jokes. They place her on a pedestal, and by doing so, they automatically place themselves beneath her. The man who truly owns his space flips the script entirely. He doesn't wonder if he's good enough for her. He playfully wonders if she's interesting enough for him. He isn't aggressive or mean, but he is challenging. He isn't afraid to be disagreeable. If she says something he disagrees with, he calls it out. He is completely unbothered by the idea that she might walk away. Because his happiness and self-worth are generated internally, not by her reaction to him. He acts as if he is the prize, and suddenly the entire dynamic reverses. It is a fundamental rule of human psychology. We unconsciously chase the thing that is moving away from us, and we pull back from the thing that is desperately clinging to us. When you stop trying to convince people of your value, they naturally begin trying to prove their value to you. This isn't just about picking up dates or winning office politics. This is about how you walk through your one finite life. Look around at the morning commute tomorrow. Millions of people sitting in cars they are drowning in debt for, driving to jobs they genuinely despise, simply to maintain a lifestyle that society told them they should want. They chose their major, their career, and their daily routine based entirely on what their parents, their friends, or the masses would approve of. They are living a second-hand existence. They are terrified of being disagreeable. They are terrified of stepping out of line. They need the crowd to nod and smile and tell them they are doing a good job. But the people who actually move the needle in this world, the ones who live on their own terms, don't ask for permission. They don't mold themselves to fit the room. They make the room mold to them. They know that they are the most important person in their own life, and they refuse to hand the keys to their self-esteem over to the opinions of strangers. It all starts the next time you walk through a door. Notice what your shoulders are doing. Notice how fast you're breathing. Notice if your eyes are darting around the room, looking for a safe place to land. Notice if you're rushing to fill a silent moment in conversation. Stop. Take a breath deep into your stomach. Drop your shoulders. Claim the space around you. Let the silence stretch just a few seconds longer than is comfortable. You don't have to announce that you've arrived. You don't have to list your accomplishments. When you finally decide that you don't need anyone's permission to be exactly who you are, the world will have absolutely no choice but to step aside and give you the space you've silently demanded. If this made you think, leave a like and subscribe to Psych Eyes for more psychology and human behavior insights. Until next time, keep your psych eyes open.